Have you ever had someone close to you tell you, you're not beautiful, you're not good enough, or you're not worthy? Have you ever had someone make you feel like you weren't wanted? Welcome to LadyBoss Unplugged. This is your host, Molly Richards. And today, we don't just have one amazing guest. Y'all, we have two. They are so beautiful and so amazing. And oh my goodness, they have been through some tough relationships, some tough stuff. And they are going to share their story and give you some amazing tips. So let's get this party started. Let's get unplugged. Welcome to LadyBoss Unplugged. This is Molly Richards, your host. I am beyond excited to empower you to overcome life's obstacles, to form new healthy habits, to cultivate a growth mindset, as well as bring in some super cool guests who will share their own kind of magic with you. Oh, and did I mention we'll have fun too? Heck yes, we will. Join me for weekly, unfiltered, raw, real, and encouraging conversations that inspire transformative change, that give you the tools to create a positive domino effect in every aspect of your life, and just have fun hanging out. Now, let's get unplugged. All right, you are in for a treat today. Woo woo! If you're watching this, let's do a little dance, everybody. Okay, and if you're listening, let's say woo woo. Okay. Woo! Okay, this is going to be so much fun. I'm going to introduce our guests in just a second, but I want to first thank everybody for, one, subscribing to LadyBoss Unplugged. We are so thankful for you. We appreciate you. And we love that you are sharing this podcast. Like, yes, we love to see you share it and tag LadyBoss on your stories, on social media, or just text the link to a friend. Like, oh my gosh, that's how we get this traveling. That's how we share our message. That's how we grow this community. And our goal is just to really empower women and make sure that they live their most amazing, healthy lives, mentally and physically. So we appreciate you. Also, we love when you leave reviews, like love it, right? So can I read one real quick? This is from LadyBoss Stacy. Woo, go Stacy. I'm going to read a little bit of it because girlfriend wrote a novel, which I love. I'm all about writing novels and saying things. And so like this. So she said, really nice things about me. I don't want to read that. But she said, Molly's quote, "Stop disqualifying yourself from opportunities in life," made me think about why or what was holding me back and becoming a substitute teacher. After hearing her episode, I began the process of following this dream. What? Like, yeah, someone is going to go follow her dream from listening. Like, that gives me chills. And the second episode about making your joy list inspired Stacy to begin making her list with her boyfriend. It made her realize the difference between a bucket list and a joy list. Anyway, she goes on and on with so many great things. Stacy, we love you. We appreciate you. And you are the ultimate lady boss. So speaking of ultimate lady bosses, we've got two amazing OG lady bosses in the house today. Like, I've been looking forward to this episode for so long. And so we have Kaitlyn and Erica here with us today. They are, oh my goodness, so awesome. So Erica is the operations manager of LadyBoss. She is one of the slim down hostesses with the mostesses. Is that a word? She's a boy mom of two. She is so real, so fun, such a hard worker. Like, every time I go to her with anything, she is like, yep, I got it done. Yep. I mean, don't you love people like that in your life that are like, yeah, like, she is just, you can go to her and she follows through, and she's just wonderful and awesome. And we love her. We all love her. And she's going to share her story, by the way. So I'm going to let her take the mic on that. And then we've got Kaitlyn, boy mom of two as well. And you guys are awesome. I have one boy, and that's a lot. So God bless. She is also one of the ultimate hype girls as well, and slim down hostesses. And she is the director of operations. And both of these girls have actually had amazing transformations with LadyBoss, both physically and emotionally. They're both going to share that with us. So girls, I am so happy you are here. I'm going to let you each say a little intro about yourselves and what LadyBoss has done for you, and just give us a little bit of info. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, awesome. So Erica, you're going first.
Oh gosh, you put me on the spot.
Yes, I love doing that.
Yeah, so I originally thought that LadyBoss was a cult. I will be
Same.
honest.
Mm-hmm.
never, ever, ever had I experienced like women actually lifting women and not putting them down. And so, I always say that LadyBoss found me. I didn't find LadyBoss. And then it led me to 65 pounds weight loss.
I have chills and I just shaved my legs. So thank you for that. That is amazing. I love that. All right. And then Kaitlyn, your turn.
So I found LadyBoss about, I guess it was like 6 years ago now. And I did not think it was a cult. I kind of Kaitlyn's story from way back. But I had just had a new baby and my health was all out of whack. I had the postmenopause, not postmenopause.
Postpartum, whatever the word. I have the postmenopause.
My body was a wreck. I was overweight. The doctor results were like, you've got to get your stuff in check. And so I knew something had to change right then and there. And that's when I found LadyBoss.
Love it.
And I am down 75 pounds today.
Dang. Okay. I don't do math, but as a total, I think if I carry the one, that's 140 pounds gone between the two of you. Is it true? That's like, that is a whole person, y'all. Like you have lost a person.
That's crazy.
That is so crazy. Oh my goodness. Like goodbye. And whenever I say I lost weight, I'm like I don't want to find it again. So I said goodbye and see you later. You guys, that is so awesome. And so today, gosh, you guys just inspire me so much, really, both of you. I'm just so proud of you. Goodness. And you guys are like the real deal. You are like total ultimate hype girls. We're going to have an episode on being the ultimate hype girl, but I just really appreciate you. And I know the whole LadyBoss community does. And if you are not part of LadyBoss yet, can you please just come join? It is free. Come find us on Facebook, on Instagram, do one of our slim down challenges, free. So come and do it. So girls, I know that when we were talking about, I knew we wanted you to have you on the show, on the podcast. But we talked about a couple topics and I know that both of you have really been through a lot and you've been through previous relationships. And this is something when you were like, we would like to talk about this. I'm like, women need to hear this. Like they need to hear what you've been through and then how you've overcome, because I look at both of you now and I see confident, strong, amazing, happy women. And that takes work. And so I would love for you both to share a little bit of your story of how maybe someone has said these things to you. You're not worthy. You're not beautiful. And then how you have now overcome that. So go ahead and share. Erica, you guys, if you're not watching this on YouTube, they were basically like looking at her like, who's going to go first? Take turns. You guys are just so awesome. Oh my gosh.
So I guess my, I don't know, do we call it trauma?
Yeah.
Started when I was young. I was, 5th grade. I think I was in 5th grade. And somebody really close to me, looked at a picture and said, oh my God, Erica is fat.
Whoa.
And that stuck with me. It still sticks. Like it doesn't ever go away. So my whole process has gone from like dealing with that and eating disorders, body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
I can say the word. So I have tried all of those things. And then it led me into just kind of like a cycle of abusive relationships and a very wildly abusive relationship.
Thank you for sharing that. Like you're brave for sharing that.
So when I was pregnant with my oldest son and I got my first stretch mark, I got the nobody will ever love you. So overcoming all of that is what LadyBoss did for me. Like just to like finally clear that out of my head and like get rid of the negative self-talk in my head.
Is that crazy that as kids, we can hear something and we hear it as truth? So someone who's giving us an opinion or of their own stuff, maybe they were told that, they pass it on to us. And I don't think adults understand that we are hearing them. We are taking that as truth. We are taking that. And then it's affecting us for all of our life until we either find LadyBoss, we find therapy, like both, or we actually just kind of mature and go, wait, let me challenge those words that were told to me. So I'm sorry that you went through that. And I can totally relate. I had a lot of things like that too. And it's like, wait, what? No, I'm not that. No, that doesn't define me. Nope. And it's wild that it can take a lifetime. And I think that's really cool. What is one thing that like LadyBoss did for you? Was it when you found LadyBoss, how did it like help you overcome? Was it like, did you start with like workouts? Did you start with the community? I'm just curious, like what was that thing, or was it a combo?
It was kind of a combo. I was in customer service. I found LadyBoss through a job. So I was in customer service and like watching the community. And so it just kind of inspired me. Like if you, all of you ladies can do it, I can do it too. I just started like moving a little bit at a time. And then piled on all of the other things. But for me, it was the movement. And listening to like podcasts and stuff when I was walking and then running.
Oh yeah, you're a big runner. Let's go.
Yes. I wish right now, but I can't right now.
Oh, but it's so crazy, the power of movement. I think that when you said that is like when we're moving, all of a sudden we can have like mental clarity too. And we could be like open to different things. Like movement isn't just about exercise. It's like all that for our brains. It's so crazy.
It's like,
oh my gosh.
Therapy.
Yeah, it is for sure. For sure. It is therapy. And then Kaitlyn, you, what is yours? Like share your story as well. You brave girls.
In some extent, similar to Erica's, as a young child, I was also told by someone really close to me that the story that sticks the most is I couldn't find my ballet shoes. And to this day, I swear that person probably threw them away. But when I couldn't find them, it's okay because your body wasn't built for that anyways.
Oh my gosh.
And there was always that kind of stigma from that person really close to me growing up that I just wasn't pretty enough. My body wasn't the figure it needed to be. And then growing up and going to school and all of that, I was the heavier friend. And so I was always bullied for my weight and being chunky and all the things, which I remember I was 14 years old. I got a rec center pass. We lied on the rec center pass because you had to be 16 to work out.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
And so my parents let me lie. And I was doing 2-a-days at the age of 14 at the gym because I was so tired of being bullied and the stigma that was being put on me and being what I thought was the ugly fat friend, and I was over it. So I put some butt to work. And still, my entire life I had that struggle, and then I got into a relationship at a really young age looking for someone to love me and show me that I was worthy, and it ended up being a complete wrong decision. I was in search of it so much that it ended up backfiring, and it was that you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough, no one will ever love you, no one will ever want you, and you start to believe that.
Yes.
So it's hard not to.
Right.
And when I finally left that relationship I was in, I went on a self-seeking journey. And this is before LadyBoss to find me. And yeah, LadyBoss definitely has done so much. And it's like that aha, like that's where I was. I got out of the relationship, what was it, 12 years ago? And I still remember to this day how much growth I've had to do in the last 12 years. It's taken 12 years because the mental toll that hold those things does to you, and how easy it is to believe the lies that you're being fed, the narcissistic tendencies that were fed into.
Right.
You're picking up what I'm putting down. It was
totally get it. And I think I'm picturing both of you in these relationships when you're already told the negative thoughts as a kid, and then you get in a relationship with someone who's they're actually dealing with their own stuff. We have to realize that, right? Like the person who's knocking you down feels knocked down. So they're going to knock you down, like join their sad party, but then they're just knocking you down. Like, oh my goodness, how much more can you take? Right. And then like, I'm curious what came to both of you guys where you were like, enough's enough. Like, no. Like enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, was there like a bottom that you hit, or were just one day where you just like, you know what? I'm going to start like my journey. Cause a lot of women I think are like, yeah, like this is my normal. Like you were saying, like, right. This is who I am. Someone's defining me. Like when did you girls just go like, now is my time. I'm going to rise above and I'm going to work. Cause it does take work. Right.
Mine is actually a funny story.
Okay.
It was a cricket on the living room floor.
What?
It was a cricket. and I had left. I had just had my oldest son, and I left town for a couple of weeks to go visit some family out of town. And when I left, I saw the cricket on the floor and had asked, like, make sure that this gets vacuumed or whatever. And when I got back 2 weeks later, the cricket was still there. And I was like, I'm done. I'm better than that. And I asked for one simple thing to be done while I was gone, and it didn't get done. And so that just showed me the value. They didn't value me.
Exactly.
So it was a cricket.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to look at crickets in a whole different way now. I'm going to be like, you never know what message a cricket could send. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, that was like your symbol of like, no, I deserve better, which you do. Anyone who's being told they aren't loved, they aren't worthy, like, bye, right? But like I said, when your confidence is so low and this is what you think is normal, this is what how you should be treated. Like, no, we're like, so I'm proud of you for deciding to listen to the cricket's message. I'm so thankful for crickets now. Oh my goodness. And what about you, Kaitlyn, where you were like, no, I'm done. Like, no.
So mine, I knew I was done, but I had been so beaten down that I didn't have the confidence, the balls, we'll say.
I always say the balls. Yeah, I say the balls. Yeah. We need to make a LadyBoss shirt that says something about balls. Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're doing it. Okay, sorry.
But we had gotten into conversation and that person said, I'm done. And I was like, oh, heck yes. They just gave me my out. And I took it off. I said, I'm done. And I walked out that door and I never looked back.
Oh my God. I love it.
The person that was belittling me when I was little and kind of beating me down, I will never forget when I told them that we were going our separate ways. Basically, they told me that, good, they probably deserve better than me anyhow. And I was like, wow, okay. I'm not that person. For whatever reason you think you can look at me that way, then maybe I am doing something. So I need to look at me. But I had my oldest son, who at the time was like 1.5 years, 2 years old, and he really became my why. Like, I'm now mom, I am now dad. I have to show up for him and give him everything. Like, he's my world. He turned, he's my why. He still is to this day. And that was the first little trigger. The first thing, like, okay, I have to find me. I have to show up for him. And I'm not going to let my past trauma continue down the generations. It's going to stop.
I love that. Yep. We say that within the LadyBoss family community is like, you have the opportunity to change not just yourself, but your family tree in so many different ways. And I always think of that. And I love that because our kids are watching, they're listening, even if we're not saying anything, they're watching. And we have this, like, thank you for bringing that up. We have this amazing opportunity to change things. And also, like, I think that's amazing. And I love that what you both shared. Thank you. And also, like, having a why will help you get through any how, for real. Like anything in your life, right? Whether it's, basically emotional abuse is what I think that you both went through. And if you have a why, whether it's your kids or some way you see yourself, some goal you have to fight for that. Right. And so with that being said, when I say the word fight, I'm like, fight. But like, what habits or like mental things did you practice to get so strong, for both of you? Were you just like, what was the journey? I know I see that you both decided, but it's like, and you found LadyBoss, and I know like movement, but it's like, is there a way that you live today or something that you've learned where you're like, because every day is, it's like you said, it's like step by step. We've got triggers, we've got life. So yeah.
There's tons of things for me. It's been 12 years and it's a constant. So there's tons, but I think the biggest thing was taking out the woe is me, the pity party. Like, we have to take ownership. We have to stand up for who we are, and we can't blame others for our issues or our own insecurities. So I try to look at everything in a very positive way, which is not always easy at all. Right. Try to see the light in it and the lesson in it. I've had many experiences in my life, whether it was the emotional trauma or physical things happen. Like, we lost our home to a fire. Oh, I could have just sat there and cried in the corner, but I had to get back up. I had to continue to build that endurance. And that's what it is in that mental game, is always looking at the positive in the bad. What can I take out of this and how can I grow? Because I know the person, I always knew the person I wanted to be. I always wanted to be that light and bubbly and confident, and I wanted to inspire others. 12 years ago, I wasn't there. And so it was that big taking out like the woe is me, that it's everyone else's issue but mine, and starting to turn the finger back on me, like how can I can be in control of this? Who I want to be. What is that positivity? What is the goodness I can take out of this bad experience, or the learning piece to continue to grow?
That's awesome. And what about you, Erica?
I mean, mine's pretty much the same. It's I put myself in that situation. And the abuse was physical, emotional, all of the things. And I think when my son was born, it was just like, it was okay for me to take that, but there's no way in hell I could do this to him.
Totally.
So it just like,
Mama bear, watch out.
Yep. And so that was my turning point, and then the cricket.
I love that.
But then just like, taking accountability and finding the joy. I mean, I moved states away with an infant baby with $7 to my name. Like, I had nothing. But I took the $7 and I bought an Easter bunny for him. And so it's just always just like, find the joy. There's joy in everything.
Yeah.
And there's always a lesson. Always. So.
And I look at both you girls, and I've known you for a while now. You're making me cry, actually. And I would have never thought, when I look at you, both so beautiful and successful and driven and smart and all that, and I wouldn't know that you've been through all this. And I think that like, it's really cool to know that all of us have a story. All of us have struggles. So it doesn't matter what we look like on the outside. We all have had hurtful moments. We've all had someone tell us something that has destroyed us inside, right? Or tried to destroy us, but it's up to us to be like, nope, not today. You know what I mean? And that mental toughness comes, it's really cool that you girls have made it through. And I love that you pointed out the fact that like, no, you're not going to hurt my kids. You're not going to affect them. And I think deciding that is so cool. And I just totally, I mean, I've been through a lot of stuff too, and you're like bringing it back. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But, and I like that you said like, it's a decision to say like, no, I'm not going to have the woe is me. When Kaitlyn said that, it was like, we have to take ownership of stuff that sucked, of past stuff, and be like, moving on. Like, it's up to us. Right. And, I'm really big on future self. And when you said like, know who the girl is that you want to be, knowing that future person. And I thought of Eileen Wilder. She's going to be one of our guests pretty soon. But yeah, when she said, oh gosh, what is it? Like basically like, who's that girl that you want to be? Like knowing there is a you inside of you that you haven't met before. When remember when she said this at an event, come to our next live LadyBoss event. But when she said, there's a you inside of you that you haven't met before. She is beautiful. She is strong. She is amazing. Like you made me think of that. And I always think of that. So I want to challenge everyone. I always get so teary. And every time I see Eileen in person, I quote that. And she's like, Molly, stop. But I want everyone listening or anyone who's watching this to think about that. Like, think about your future self. Think about who do you want her to be? And so if you're going through this right now, like find your cricket and be like, I'm done, I'm done. And I'm not saying what to do with your relationship. I'm saying your relationship with you. You have to be done letting someone talk down to you, say untruths to you, like the things that were told to you as a kid, like, no, that's not true. And decide to take control. I think that's just beautiful, And so wow, you guys are just giving me chills today. What is like one thing that like, so you're raising, both of you are raising two boys. I have a girl and a boy. So do you do you pay attention to the words that you say to them? Like, are you very, that's pretty crazy, right?
I think that's like my biggest thing as a mom is like, I do not want to put that in their head. Something that like was put in my head. There were so many years that I fought through that. Absolutely don't want to say anything that would hurt them.
I love that. I used to think, so as, sorry, Kaitlyn, your turn.
No, you're great.
Oh,
It's echoing what Erica said, 100%. You know, they became my why, and I wanted, like I said earlier, to end the generational curses that had continued down my family tree. And I was actually at a sporting event for my older kid earlier this year, and I was sitting in the little group of girls because he's a boy, he's a flirt. And one of the girls commented on my nails. She's like, I love your nails. They're so cute. She goes, I wish I could go get my nails done. And she continued on. I didn't pry. And she's like, I just don't like to go into the nail salon because I get really bad anxiety when I go in.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, here's a 7th grade girl who's worried about anxiety going to the nail salon because people are looking at her when she walks in. I'm like, that is from experiences. I don't want my kids to have that. I want my kids to be able to go knock on the neighbor's door and be like, hey, I'm Wyatt, and can I power wash or help out or do, like, I want them to be open and be able to have conversations and be confident in who they are and have their own unique style and just not have to fear that I'm going to tear them down, that the world wants to tear them down. Like, yes, there's that and they're going to learn it, but give them that foundation that they are worthy. They are good enough. They are amazing. And being their unique selves, the you inside of you, is amazing.
The goal is to raise the kids to not need therapy from their childhood.
Right. And therapy is amazing. So now that we are not kids, I just want to encourage everyone. I learned this from a friend years ago. She was like, we get our teeth checked. We get checkups for our teeth. Right? Why aren't we getting checkups for our brains? You know, and our brains want to prove all of our thoughts to be true. And so make sure our thoughts are actually true. Like, we have to think about what we're thinking about. I always think of that too. And words matter. Like, even my kids today will say, like, Mom, I remember when you told me this. I'm like, I said that? Like, oh my gosh. So, you know, we're not perfect. I always say, like, I've messed up so many times, and that's okay. And I actually encourage, the whole Richards family is always in therapy, by the way, because, I mean, really, we are. We're big on therapy. We're big on EMDR. We're big on that. And I don't ever think that it's like a fault of mine or my husband's. We're like, so teach your kids that it's okay. Like, we are just humans doing our best job, you know? And so for both of you, what is like your daily routine to, like, right now? Like, what do you do to be your most fit minded? And, like, you know what I'm saying? Fit is your physical self, your emotional self. Like, how do you take care of you, especially as full-time working mamas and wives? And you know what I'm saying? And, like, you're like, that's a lot. So how do you fit it into your lives? Each of you can take a turn, but, you know, tell the women who are listening, or any guys that are listening, what it is that you do.
So for me, I am really big on my state. It's been 12 years, but I constantly have to work on it. It's not something that will ever go away, right? And so I start every day off with my state. It looks different every day, but for me, my faith is really big, especially the last 2 years. I've dove in personally and my family, like reading my Bible, journaling, doing a Bible study, massive for me to kick off my day.
Yep.
But personal development books, podcasts, journaling, even dressing for success, as I like to say, looks different for everyone, but curling your hair, just it makes you feel better when you actually.
I tried today. I tried it. I did a beach walk right before this. It's a little flat. Go on.
I'm jealous of your beach walk.
Oh, sorry.
But the morning, I have to start my morning, the first hour, with pouring into me, even if it's 5 minutes in my car. Like, my car, I park in the garage, sit in the dark, and I will pray, sing, whatever in my car for 5 minutes. Like, I just need some time to focus on me and say, hey, it's going to be a great day today.
Yeah. Filling our cup as moms, right? Because if we're empty, what the heck? We can't pour from an empty cup. So take care of yourselves. I love that so much.
Yeah. Mine is movement. I get up and work out pretty much every morning. And that, with a podcast or personal development or something, I get that workout in. I get my body moving, my brain moving. Weekends, I like to take a bath, like a really long bath. Like, I find the longest podcast I can find, and I will just lay in there for like an hour.
Thank you for doing that. I can't wait to tell my husband you do that too. The other day, he's like, you've been in there for like an hour. I'm like, so? Okay.
And Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like 2 hours,
Yeah.
like until the water gets cold.
Yes.
Sometimes I like add hot water.
Oh yeah. Totally. Yes. Your fingers and toes are pruned, but that's okay. You're happy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's my weekend. And then learning. Always learning something. I just don't like to stop learning.
Totally. Yeah. Taking care of ourselves is so important. And if you say you don't have time, you just have to reorganize your schedule and make you a priority. I'm big on that.
Yes.
Put it on your calendar. Yes. You should be at the top of your calendar for sure. And I always talk about my mom. My mom totally loves this podcast, by the way.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. And I said she was 83 the other day. I'm so sorry, Mom. You are 82. But I always talk, she's my inspiration because y'all, she basically raised us alone, 9 kids. And one of the big things she did is she would take care of herself so she could take care of us with 9 kids and like working 3 jobs sometimes and still volunteering and helping the people in need around us. Like she was amazing, you know. But one thing I've talk about is she would either take a nap or she would work out or she would read. And it's like, wow, like that's cool. And so from that is like, she taught me how to live. Our kids are watching us. You know what I mean? And so I think it's really cool as well to sometimes turn on an Audible or a podcast when you're driving. Your kids might be sitting there with their video games or might be, you know, holding a truck in their hand or like looking out the window, but they're listening. They are taking in all the things that we are too. So cool that we have this opportunity. And I love that you said always learn. Sometimes people think like I'm out of college or it's too late. It's like, if you're not learning, you're not growing. If you're not learning, then you're like slowly dying, really, right?
Yes.
So with that said, can I, besides LadyBoss Unplugged, what is one of your favorite podcasts?
You got it.
I did a plug right there.
My favorite podcast, I will shout them out. Morbid. I love Morbid.
Okay.
I'm a true crime junkie. And that is like my jam. So
I love it. And that's like a nice escape too, right?
Yes, I mean, it's like my total like bathtub escape because they're always pretty long.
Okay. I hope this story is not about someone in a bathtub.
Probably is. No,
you're all, and then the knife comes into the lady in the bathtub. You're like, oh my gosh. What about yours, Kaitlyn?
So I'm newer to the podcast world. I've done a lot more personal development books, Audible.
Yeah. Or just give us a book even. Yeah. Because everyone's always asking like, what book or Audible has changed your life, you know?
Oh, so podcasts, Mel Robbins is amazing. Of course.
Love.
Mel Robbins. And I've actually been studying Proverbs 31, and there's a lot of deep dives into being the Proverbs 31 woman podcast. So I like a lot of those right now.
Love it.
And books, Eileen Wilder actually has a really good book, and I'm gonna blank on the name. Body something.
Ooh. Look at Eileen Wilder on Instagram. Yes. You'll adore her. She's the real deal. Goodness. Yeah.
I love that book.
Okay.
Atomic Habits. I do a lot of professional development too.
Yeah.
So
you do.
Atomic Habits was a really good one.
Yeah. I'm listening to that right now. I'm re-listening to Atomic Habits. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love when he talks about triggers. Like if you have your water bottle near you or 3 water bottles filled up, you're going to drink water throughout the day. If you have healthy food right in your refrigerator, you're going to eat healthy food. Do you know what I mean? Like simple things like that. Oh yeah. Let's talk about that real quick. Tell us it.
So I think we've heard it where you count to 5, get up and get it done. Like that's Mel Robbins.
Oh, Mel Robbins. Yep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
His is the 2 minutes. Like you don't need to commit 5 minutes. Like I don't want to work out today. I don't want to read my Bible. I don't want to, whatever it is.
Yeah.
2 minutes. Give yourself 2 minutes. Set that timer. It doesn't have to be 5, 10, 30. Start with 2 and go from there.
You'll keep going.
You'll keep going. And
totally.
it's creating that 2-minute habit is really what it is. It's like if you can create that 2-minute trigger habit, then the goal will happen.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm going to do, so thank you, a 5-minute fix on that about giving, I always say 5 minutes. When you don't want to work out, move for 5 minutes. And all of a sudden your brain and body are like, wait, I feel so good. I don't want to stop, you know? And even if you're like, I don't listen to podcasts, turn one on, maybe Mel Robbins or whoever it is, or maybe it's Morbid, whatever. turn it on for 5 minutes and you're like, okay, I'm totally sucked in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I taught fitness for a lot of years and people would come in all groggy, especially the early morning classes. I was like, give me 5 minutes and I'm going to see a smile on your face, you know, and your body might be aching and it might be mad at you right now. But after 5 minutes, the blood is moving to your brain and your body and you will not want to stop. So 2 minutes, 5 minutes. I love that. Maybe I should have wrote a book. I'm joking.
You still have time. You still
oh my
have
gosh.
time.
My mom asked me to write a book every day. So I'm going to eventually, that's on my list actually in the next year. I don't know what it's about, but honestly, that 5 minute rule and the power of, listening to books or podcasts or whatever, just feeding your brain is amazing. And it will help you get through what the girls here have gotten through. The girls, the women, the ladies, the lady bosses. But like you all of a sudden become mentally strong. Don't you ever feel like you're feeling down sometimes? You listen to a personal development, something, and all of a sudden you're like, I got this. Like I freaking have this. And also spending time in like one of our slim down groups, we're big on state. We're big on that. Yes, we want you to eat well. We want you to have a lot of enough protein. We want you to move. But when the thing between your two ears is working at its best, you are unstoppable. And you girls are such good proof of that. Like you have gotten through. Look at these smiles. If you're watching, like you're probably listening, but you can hear them smiling, right? Like it's the coolest thing. And I just love how much you have both grown. Yes, Erica's dropped 65, Kaitlyn 75, total 140. Molly can do math. But that weight loss has helped you gain so much. And so I have to ask one more question before we stop this. Well, really quick, now do you tell, I'm going to have two questions. So when you guys want to quit, when you're like, I've hit my weight loss goal, like what are the moments where you're like, no, I got to keep going? And then what do you do like a mantra? Do you have like a mantra? I know there's two total huge questions, but like the woman who's listening to this right now, like on the days where she wants to give in and quit and be like, I'm done, what do you tell yourself? There you go.
I turn on Carrie Underwood, Champion, and I rap the Luda part as loud as I can.
I need a video of that soon.
I love that song. Like that is my own hype girl song. And then what was the other question?
Do you have a mantra, that song or no? So that song is, but that's awesome. By the way, I'm writing down, I'm taking notes by the way, cause you guys are so awesome. But like on the days where you kind of, our brains want to retreat back to like, oh, you can't do this. You're not worth it. Like it goes back to those thoughts. What do you say? Like, you're like, no, stop.
No, you've already done so much. Like, why would you stop?
Yes.
Because you've already come this far. Don't give up now. Just
and having, I could
come so far.
Yeah. And I love that I see you girls sitting by each other. I think having a friend that believes in you
100%
is going to, so yeah, all of a sudden I was seeing you together and I'm like, I know that you hold each other accountable because you love each other, but also you've seen each other. So what do you say about that, Kaitlyn? You can answer that.
State, Sparkle, two huge components with LadyBoss. And Sparkle to me is a huge piece of state. And I know I'm kind of sidelining a little bit, but so last night we went to a concert together, had a blast, and I looked at her and another gal we were with, and I'm like, we're lady bosses, right? They're like, yeah. I was like, I've got a challenge for us. We have to at least give 5 compliments out to people as we walk by or whatever else. And Erica's like, I've already been doing it. I was like, yeah, so have I, but we're going to do 5 more. Walking back from the porta potties, the glorious porta potties.
Lovely.
And we're like, I've got her. And we looked at each other, and I looked at Erica and I was like, I love Sparkle so much because look at the smile on my face. I feel so good because I shared that love. And that's my mantra is I keep going because I have been what I thought was the pits and the mental state that was just crushing and no motivation. I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel beautiful. And my mantra is if I can make a difference in just one person's life, then I am successful in what I want to do. I don't want anyone to feel like I have in the past. And I know we all have those feelings at times.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to make that switch to help them, smile.
Yeah. And shout out to all the girls that thought we were like going to jump them or something because we like grabbed them and we're like, oh my God, your shirt is so pretty.
Stop it.
And we grabbed an arm at one point. So I was like,
and the girl in the cow shorts, those were amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, that was great.
And those girls at the concert, yes, they're having a good time. You don't know what's happening at her home. You don't know what her partner or someone in her life is telling her. You girls with Sparkle basically is like positive words, kindness to others, lifting other women up. That's what we're all about. And you don't know what her story is. So all of a sudden you could be the only person all week, all year, all month, only person in her life. You never know. By just saying something nice. Like, it's crazy. Like, we always say Sparkle is good for that person. And then it comes right back and just like, bling, right back at us.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually improves our health, which is so cool. So I love that you girls do that. I have a vision of it all by the porta potties, which are so lovely. I did go to a concert recently. I don't remember who it was. I forgot to close the door at a porta potty and there was a big line and then someone opened it. I was like, hey, hi everybody. So, that was good. And thank God I did not wear the romper. That's all I have to say.
Yes, no kidding.
So I did wear a romper the other day and my husband said, you look so cute. I said, rompers are all fun and games until you have to go to the bathroom in a public place and then you're naked. Sorry, I had to share. Okay. So I hope, and I know you girls have inspired women to just say, you know what? Enough's enough. You are not going to tell me who I am, how I should feel about myself, or how I should live. And taking that ownership and saying, no, like I could say, woe is me. There's plenty of people out there who could say, I'm going to keep taking it. This is how my life is. This must be who I am. And then live sad. Or take it and say, look at the cricket. The cricket gives you the sign of, no, I'm done. And so you girls, I hope that you celebrate that you have been brave. And not only that you decided to change, but you take action. You took action and daily take action because it doesn't stop, right? The work doesn't stop.
Constant. That is the big
constant.
It's not I've lost the weight or I've changed my mindset and I'm done. It is a lifetime of transformation that continues.
It really is. And so I do encourage everyone to do our 30-day slim down because it's not just about the weight loss. Yes, you'll lose weight, you will slim down, but you're going to slim down all the negative crap that comes to us and you're going to develop amazing habits. We always say, like, we start you off slow, 21 days to form a habit, 30, all of a sudden, this is how you live. It's the coolest thing. And these girls are living proof of that. And so I want to encourage you to join. Just find us on Instagram or Facebook, right, girls? Is there a link that they could sign up for? I'm just curious.
LadyBoss.com/slim down.
Woo! Thank you. I didn't warn you that I was going to ask you that. So thank you. But invite friends to do it. I always do things in groups. So then it's like, hey girl, you showing up for that? Cool. What'd you do for your Sparkle, your shape, your state, and all of that today? And I'm so proud of your success and all that. So, and then have a hype song, everybody. I wrote that down because mine is Unstoppable by Sia. Like if that is a good one. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I have the worst voice, yet I sing. Okay. But that song, it literally will just be like, let's go. So have a hype song, work on you every day, fill your cup, and know that you do have the ability to change your life. Oh, and have a hype girl to cheer you on. We are here for you. And then just know that you are worthy. You are beautiful. You are loved and you are living like God made you, on purpose and for a purpose. So ladies, let's freaking go. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So wait. And one more thing, girls, where can everyone find you to follow your stories, your transformations and all of that? So on Instagram, Facebook?
Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
Mine's Instagram or TikTok, and I think it's at K Telemonte, I think.
I love it. I love it. I didn't even say your last names because you're basically like Madonna and Prince, or not Prince. That didn't sound right. No one's Prince. You're more like Beyonce. I don't know.
I love me some Prince. Okay.
Oh, I did see Prince in concert and he had really high heels. I'm forever changed and he danced in them. So when I wear heels, I'm like, Prince is better in heels than me. So that's a random thought. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you girls. I adore you both. And this has just been so fun. I mean, that's what LadyBoss Unplugged is all about. We are just chatting. We are girlfriends hanging out and we hope that you love that. You can sit with us. You belong with us. That's one of my favorite things about LadyBoss is you're here. Like, we love you because you're here. And so follow these girls, continue to inspire me. And thank you for being my hype girls. And so thank you so much for listening. Everybody share this podcast. And remember that my wish for you is that you can live your most happy, fulfilled, healthy life, both mentally and physically. And that you remember that you are powerful. You are powerful, and you can literally be unstoppable, just like that song, right? And you can be a champion, just like Erica's hype song. Like, you have all of this in you, but just decide right now to go for it and to say, no more negative thoughts. I own my thoughts, and then put in the work. So we'll see you on the next one, everybody. Thank you, girls, for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.